Alright guys, so we're going to do the final test on that 2013-14 F-150, and just to recap, what we did is we pin switched the rear toolboxes. You know, a lot of guys out there have $1,000 in tools or more, thousands of dollars, and you want to be able to protect that. So all we did is we tied in the pin switches to the factory alarm system. Now you can do it to a factory alarm or an aftermarket alarm, doesn't matter. But since he already had an alarm, what we did is we just tied it into it. So all we got going on here is a reminder. This is the right rear, which is this door right here. This is the wire for the door switch or door latch. So it's normally closed, and when it opens, when you open the door, basically it's like cutting this wire, and it tells the factory alarm the alarm's been opened. So what we did here, we ran that wire right here to a relay, basically tied it into 87A and 30 of the relay, which rest at each other. Okay, so when one of these pins opens, okay, it's down. As soon as it opens, it's going to send a negative, sending a negative all the way from the back to the relay. Now the relay is resting at positive, so all it's waiting for is that negative to go ahead and trigger the alarm. Okay, this one wire is tied into the 3 in the back. Okay, so the 3 lids for the toolboxes in the back, whichever one sends a negative, which is all the relay is waiting for, what it's going to do is these 2 that are resting on each other, it's going to click the relay and separate them, kind of like a starter kill. So it's going to separate them. When it separates, it's going to tell the factory alarm that this right rear door opened. You can pick any door or even the hood pin, whatever you like. We chose this one just because it was closer to the rear to avoid having to run all this extra wire. Okay, and we'll go ahead and test that for you guys so you can see. Now this other blue wire here, all this is for, extra request was to put these little strobe lights in there. You can see there. So basically at nighttime, which is more likely when someone would try to tamper with it, when he's ready to go ahead and lock up, we're going to flush mount this later inside the glove box. We switch it on. And now you can see, hopefully you guys can see, little strobe light. Probably doesn't look bright to you guys, but it's actually bright. And in the daytime, in the nighttime, it's going to be super bright, especially reflecting off all this diamond plate. When I push the pin, that's when it stops completely. As soon as you let go, it starts flashing. Alright, so we'll go ahead and test all that out for you guys right now. Another cool little feature is, just for whatever reason, alright, so in a normal situation, we'll go ahead and close this guy. If you leave your door open and you try to lock the alarm, you get 2 honks because the door is open. Even if it's not closed all the way, but it's latched once, you'll get a warning. Now the cool thing is, because we tied into the factory alarm, you see, now we'll get 1 honk because everything's closed. There we go. But now for whatever reason, if you forgot a tool door open, any one of the three, and you go ahead and arm it, it'll give you 2 honks saying something's open. Now it's probably going to be very obvious if you left the lid open, but it's a cool feature. So now that we're locked, we're good to go. Now any factory alarm takes 30 seconds to arm, so we'll just kill some time here. Any aftermarket alarm takes only about 5 seconds to arm, so it'll work a lot quicker. You could test it quicker. But again, this is a nice feature for anybody that wants a guideline of what you got to do to be able to add pin switches to a factory alarm. And again, you can do this to an aftermarket alarm also. So we got about 30 seconds now. So as you can see, all the doors are closed, completely flush on this side. We'll hop over on this side. See, the doors are completely flush. And we'll just try this side. So let's say this one, someone tries to come up. I think that one's locked. We'll try this one. There's the alarm. The strobe light's kind of quick. I don't know if you guys are catching it. It might be a little too fast, but we'll go ahead and test one more side. Give it another 30 seconds. With that, basically right there, send a negative to that relay and made it think that a door opened. So it's kind of cool. You don't got to invest too much money. Just spend a couple dollars on some pin switches and some wire, and you can wire it up how I have it here. Get a little extra security into your guys' trucks. Now we'll just try this side just to make sure everything's good. Alright. We'll try one of the side ones, see if this side's unlocked. We'll try this one. Should be about 30 now. Let's see what happens. There you go. Alright guys, so that's the video on tying into a factory alarm. And again, we'll just go over this relay one more time. As far as the lights, if you guys want to do the same thing for lights, all we did is the stripe side, we ran it into constant, so there's constant 12 volt here the whole time, sending it to the brain of the strobe lights. So it's already got power, it's waiting for the ground. Okay, so it's got power all the time, the stripe wire right here going back to the strobe lights. So all it's waiting for is the ground, and the ground comes when the pin goes up. So again, I don't know if the strobe light's too fast, but see, it's waiting for the ground to power up, gets the ground, and it starts flashing. Uses the ground, stops flashing. Okay, so there's that. And then the other one is just the door. So that's the strobe light for the power. And one more time, this is the door. So if you literally have this yellow wire here, now look at your diagrams or test your wires, don't burn anything out. But if you had this wire here and you manually latch this to make the alarm think the door's closed, as soon as you cut it, it opens the circuit and the alarm would go off. That's how you can also test the wire. But Japanese cars, usually it's just a push button, it just sends a negative trigger and the alarm would go off. But for American vehicles, at least Ford's, it has to sense an open trigger. So that's why we did this again. We ran it to the relay. And again, basically, it really doesn't matter which one you connect to which, as long as one goes to 87A of the relay and one goes to 30 of the relay. Once it's energized, it's going to cut it open. And the way it's energized again is we got 12 volts to 85 of the relay constantly, and that same trigger, negative trigger, that's going to power the strobe light is also sending a negative trigger to the relay. We got positive. As soon as the negative hits, it triggers the relay, opens it up, makes the alarm think that there was a door open. And that's just one way of doing it. Every car might be a little bit different. I'll try to make another video for you guys, but until then, this is 2014 F-150. Door pins tying into factory alarm. Peace.